Hello. In this video we are discussing about ancient childbirth beliefs and rituals thought to protect mother and child. Before anything else, please like this video and follow our YouTube channel for further updates. Pregnancy and childbirth have historically been among the most perilous times in a woman's life. It was a common belief that evil supernatural forces could easily harm an expecting mother and her unborn child. As a result, many ancient societies created childbirth customs that were intended to safeguard the woman and her unborn child. These days, it's difficult to watch the news without hearing about expectant mothers in Hollywood. From Salma Hayek to Naomi Watts, people have been interested in celebrity pregnancies, for reasons other than the gender or name of the baby. The next focus, in our opinion, will be how they deliver their starlets. Demi Moore and Meryl Streep both gave birth at home, while Ricki Lake gave birth in her bathtub. And in 2006, rumors about Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes centered on the delivery technique Holmes would select to give birth to their daughter, Suri. The Tom Kitten watch raised concerns about various labor and delivery methods, particularly those from earlier eras and nations. Here are 9 historical birth rites from different parts of the world that demonstrate how both birthing customs and our curiosity about them have changed through time. Tie a risk taken in Greece around 430 BC. Midwives were called when labor started, and the expectant mother was placed on a bed. Ancient Greeks believed that knots had malevolent powers and might prevent or delay birth. Therefore the room was searched to make sure there were none. The mother was transferred to a birthing stool, where she knelt when labor started. One of the midwives sat underneath the mother to catch the baby while the others massaged her belly. The mother and child were both washed after birth because birth blood was thought to be unfortunate. To ward off the evil eye, a superstition notion that a victim, in this case, a helpless baby, could be cursed by the malevolent glance from the eye of an envious person. A symbol was put on the infant's forehead. In North America, France, China, Greenland. Feeling regal? In the 1700s, France. Similar to some modern-day celebrities, births for royalty were highly extravagant affairs. The royal lady would summon her servants when she started having birth pains, and request to be put on a special sofa. Sneezing powder to help with the birth, almond oil to clean the hands of the doctor and chief midwife, and boxes of powdered cumin and myrrh to dust the baby's umbilical cord, was some of the 18th century medicines that were placed close to the expectant mother. The baby was bathed in oil, red roses, and red wine after the cord was severed following the birth. Childbirth whisperers. In the late 1800s, China. When a woman of the Chinese merchant class went into labor, her mother and mother-in-law would pray for a quick delivery. A Taoist priest would show up at the bedside and offer the expectant mother prayers in her ear. She would crouch on the bed as labor began. The midwife would cut and knot the placental cord after the baby was delivered, and then make an effort to encourage the placenta to be delivered. It would be 3 days before the infant was cleansed because of the impending impact of evil. The silence is the sound. Indians of the Zuni in the 1890s. When labor began, the expectant mother would rest on a comfortable bed made of animal skins while her mother gathered the family's more senior ladies to assist with the birth. She was urged to be quiet as the pain got worse. Who knew that the Church of Scientology did not only practice silent birth? The expectant woman's tummy was massaged by the laboring woman's mother and the birthing doctor to hasten delivery. The family's female members would sob and cry as the baby descended out of compassion for the laboring mother who was unable to communicate her suffering. The doctor would lie down next to the expectant mother to grab the baby when it emerged. The new mother's grandma would dump the placenta in the river after delivery so it may be washed downstream. The newborn was officially welcomed into the Zuni community and introduced to the Zuni gods 6 days after birth. Polar Eskimos in the 1920s, the husband's role in childbirth. The delivery would take place in a bed that the birthing woman's husband made in a small hole that was covered in animal hide. The wife would lie down in the bed that had been made when the discomfort started, and her husband would recline behind her. The baby would then be encouraged to be born by applying pressure on her abdomen. When the baby was born, the mother would tie a knot to stem the bleeding, after the father had cut the umbilical cord with a knife. Animals would eat the placenta after it had been wrapped in skin and left outside. To ward off wind ghosts and allow the child to sleep with his or her parents, the newborn would be given 3 names. In Indonesia, Hawaii, Egypt, a useful dance. Egypt 19,000 years ago. Contrary to popular belief, belly dancing was once an ancient form of dance that celebrated the human body as a temple of the spirit and a product of nature. Originally, women would dance in praise of the Great Mother, the source of all life. Hip gyrations were utilized in labor preparation and were thought to secure the birth of future generations. The woman in labor would roll her abs while squatting low and bearing down. Her abdominal muscles were strengthened by the dancing's contractions, which made childbirth simpler. Gotta believe. Indonesia and Malaysia in antiquity. Women toiled while upright and without access to painkillers. An expectant mother would instead receive massages from a dukuan, or midwife. As was customary, the baby was delivered in the birthing room within the house because it was thought that a newborn's first cry was a sign of loyalty and respect for the parents and should be heard there. Similar to labor coaches of today, several mothers stayed in the birthing room with the laboring woman and provided support and guidance. The dukuan bath wraps and cuts the cord after the infant is born. The baby then murmured the words of Allah, which were meant to be the first words the child ever heard. The infant's first display of respect for its family was when it was given back to its mother and introduced to the grandparents. After being cleaned, the placenta was put in an earthenware pot with spices and kept close to the mother. The placenta was buried in the ground by the family after 40 days. An address of their own. Hawaii in the past. Ancient Hawaiian women who were alii, or pregnant with potential royalty, gave birth among the Kukani Loko birthing stones, which are located between the villages of Wahiawa and Haleiwa. In modern times, we observe this birth seclusion when celebrities like Britney Spears give birth to their children in specialized hospitals and birthing facilities. Potential alii could not be delivered like a commoner, without ceremony. The rocks were thought to have the ability to relieve childbirth pains. 48 chiefs beat drums to proclaim the arrival of the babies who may one day become chiefs, as part of the rituals accompanying the birth of aliis. To ensure protection, give the child special gifts. Gifts were exchanged in other post-childbirth traditions. When a baby was given their first name in ancient Rome, a special locket called a bulla was given to them to wear around their necks. This happened 9 days after birth for boys and 8 days for girls. An amulet that was said to shield the infant from all harm was inside the bulla. Girls wore their bulla until the night before their wedding, while boys wore theirs until they became citizens. As a result, putting the bulla aside represented the passage from childhood to adulthood. Practices continue. Women nowadays would be shocked to learn that our culture has adopted a lot of ancient birth customs. These rituals include the art of midwifery, the massage of the uterus during labor, drug-free deliveries, and the concept of birth in quiet. Who knows, these and other birthing customs may continue to be passed down through history, tying together women from past civilizations and the present. How was the video? Do you like it? Post your response in our comments section below, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos.